It's the holiday season, and politics may be a forbidden topic at your next family gathering, but there's another topic that you can and should discuss: the future of the internet. Net neutrality has sparked the biggest internet debate since the dress. So here's everything you need to know about the issue and how it could change the internet as we know it. You're watching the Deets, a show where we demystify the technologies that are shaping the future. I'm your host, Riley Wynn. So what is net neutrality? Well, net neutrality means treating everything on the internet equally. It's a guiding principle that preserves an open internet. You get the same connection speeds as well as the same access to sites such as YouTube and Netflix. And your internet service provider can't show any preferential treatment anywhere. It can't block or slow access to a site because it doesn't like the content or because a site competes with its services. 2 years ago, net neutrality shook up the internet. In 2017, Ajit Pai and the FCC voted to repeal Obama-era FCC net neutrality rules established in 2015. The new ruling tells state and local governments they cannot create laws regulating broadband service or craft their own net neutrality laws similar to the 2015 FCC regulations. Pai's ruling also only requires ISPs to be transparent about their practices. For example, a provider can slow down or block access to a streaming service like Netflix or Spotify for any reason, as long as they notify you. This is all part of Pai's plan to have the federal government stop micromanaging the internet. Another feature of the 2017 repeal, broadband now falls under the purview of the FTC. So if an ISP doesn't want you to see something, they can slow down how quickly you see it, or even halt it altogether. Again, as long as they simply notify you beforehand. Those who are pro-net neutrality would say that the repeal allows bigger ISPs to become gatekeepers of the internet. The pro-repeal side would say that net neutrality has stifled innovation within the industry, and specifically with building out broadband infrastructure. The battle between both sides has been raging on for 2 years now, and is still as relevant as it was the day the repeal was announced. Early in 2019, attorneys general from 22 states and the District of Columbia, as well as consumer groups and tech companies such as Mozilla, the people behind Firefox, sued the FCC in federal court to reverse the repeal. There were two big questions in this lawsuit. One, whether the FCC had a sufficient reason to change the classification of broadband, and two, whether it has the right to preempt states from adopting their own net neutrality rules. The federal court upheld the FCC's repeal of the rules and its classification of broadband. But the court also denied a provision that blocks states from passing their own net neutrality laws and protections. So the repeal stands on the federal level, but the federal government also can't stop states from setting up their own protections. California, New Jersey, Vermont, Washington, and Oregon, where this company's headquarters are located, have already pushed legislation through to protect net neutrality. And 34 other states have introduced their own bills. This all just sounds like a bunch of party politics. One side doesn't like the other, he said, she said. But why does it matter to you? You haven't noticed any changes since the repeal, right? Take a second to imagine a scenario with me. It's a lazy Sunday in April of 2020, and you want nothing more than to just sit on the couch and veg out to Netflix. But your screen is in a never-ending buffer. Womp womp. But why? Well, let's say your ISP planned to debut their new streaming service on this fine Sunday in April of 2020. And to avoid any competition with Netflix, your ISP has slowed down your Netflix and stifled your Office marathon to incentivize you to watch their streaming service. Now, I know this is definitely a first world problem and a somewhat trivial scenario, but pro-net neutrality folks say the implications could be much worse. They say the FCC's ruling could essentially stop the internet's flow of important information. The net neutrality debate has been going on for years among politicians, advocates, and the big ISPs. But it's not grabbing headlines like Baby Yoda or Cybertruck. Still, the way you get those headlines and the speed at which you get them is very much the issue here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of our videos. If this video helped you understand the net neutrality crisis, share this with your parents, your friends, basically anyone who likes using the internet. Until next time, I'm Riley Wynn with Digital Trends, and thanks for watching.